to the cab of my truck here, and I have to admit, I've got a little bit of crow to eat this afternoon, and I want to be honest and forthright about this crow that I'm about to eat. First up, in a video I made yesterday, June 3rd, I was getting pretty ornery in a more or less polite-ish fashion about JB Hunt not having properly communicated with different people about their updated format to their rate confirmation documents. And to a certain extent, that criticism does remain valid. However, I have to admit and be honest that the blame is not solely on JB Hunt and JB Hunt staff. Some of the blame rightly falls on my factoring company, Triumph, for, in all honesty, not thinking through the process all the way. Because here's the full breakdown. When I submitted my invoice to Triumph yesterday morning for a load I delivered for JB Hunt, also yesterday morning, that afternoon I got an automated text saying that the invoice had been rejected. And the way the wording on the rejection was, it sounded like, and I interpreted it as, JB Hunt's accounts payable team somehow decided that the rate confirmation, despite being an official JB Hunt document, was not valid. So I went off and made that video about being mad at JB Hunt for not, communicating with everyone that, hey, we've got a new format for our rate confirmations, and when you see this version, even though it doesn't like this version, it's still good, process them. Which, okay, that should make sense. However, on Triumph's fault, they declined to process the invoice normally, despite having all required information about the load, meaning rate, point of origin, destination, all of that, all the details were there. Despite having that information, albeit in a different format, someone on Triumph's side didn't follow that all through its logical conclusion and say, hey, look, they changed the format, but the information we're seeing here corresponds to the information we typically see on the old version of the rate confirmation. All they've done is change how it looks, not how it functions. Let's go ahead and get this processed, but we'll send an email off to whoever just to double check and clarify, is this the final form or whatever. That would have made sense, and that, in my opinion, should be how things are done. But because Triumph's team declined to go through that process and instead rejected the invoice, stating from them that the rate confirmation was not I think the verbiage was something along the lines of, this is not an appropriate rate confirmation, or this is not, the words they used essentially said, this is not a rate confirmation we're going to accept in order to process this invoice. So it really is Triumph's fault, more or less, that I didn't get paid yet for my load delivery yesterday. So I talked to Triumph and kind of got the lowdown on what their opinion is, but I still have to be a little mad at JB Hunt because Triumph did reach out. They did their due diligence. They did reach out to JB Hunt through their contacts, their email contacts, and as of the time I spoke to them, they had not received a response. So my criticism of JB Hunt not communicating does hold water, albeit the true fault of this problem isn't exclusively on JB Hunt's shoulders. So I have to be honest in that regard. However, I'm not apologizing to anybody because I still haven't been paid for work I've already done, and quite honestly, that's a problem. So Triumph and JB Hunt, both of you guys, get your acts together, get this stuff processed. People are waiting on their money. We've got bills to pay, fuel to buy, tires to change out. We've got stuff that needs to get done, and you're holding up the show. So while I feel like I should be somewhat apologetic, you know what? I'm tired of being apologetic for someone else's problems and someone else's mistakes. Get this fixed. Get it done. You've got companies out here that need these things handled in a timely fashion. And we're depending on you bean counters sitting at desks all day working 8 to 4, 9 to 5, or whatever to get it done, because we're out here working 7 to 7 and we're doing it 6 to 7 days in a row. Come on, chop chop, let's get this stuff done. Handle it. So yeah, as you can tell, I'm still a bit ornery about the whole situation, because I feel like this should not be a problem. This should have a straightforward resolution, but somehow, some way, someone just doesn't want to get two neurons to form a synapse and connect the dots here. And it's frustrating, because we are not in an economy where a lot of us solo owner-operators can afford to let one invoice be hanging fire for 2, 3, 4 days at a time. This needs to get done speedily. I would like to say I can afford to have 2 or 3 invoices, wait weeks or months or whatever to get paid out, but that's not the case. Things are tight. Bills got to get paid. Let's go, folks. Time's a-wasting. And with that being said, I'm done with my ranting and raving. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you down the road.